Okay, so welcome to Health and Movement Online. Um, Health and EDEL 250. So if you are in a different class, sorry, you may want to come back at your time. But this is for Health and Movement for elementary teachers, and there's some PE teachers in here. And so, welcome. My name is Dr. Elner. I'm a number of things up here, but a teaching assistant professor. My main area is that I coordinate and run the PE and health program, which I know a handful of you in this course are in that class or in that program with me. I think it's like the best program on campus. We have a lot of students doing a lot of good things in there. My next thing I would say is, even though I am the PE teacher, do not think that this is PE for elementary teachers. I know a lot of people probably come into that thinking that I'm going to teach you how to be a PE teacher. Here's the thing is, just like I don't want I don't want elementary teachers teaching PE, you don't want me coming in and teaching your elementary classes if I was the PE teacher. What we are going to talk about is a number of things that you can do within your class that involve health and movement that will make your class a better place. Um, but again, I'm not going to teach you how to play a bunch of. This class is not about teaching you how to do PE. This is a class teaching you about using health and movement concepts within a classroom setting. Now, I'll give you a quick little update on, or the reason why I say that is, so my research focus, my dissertation is using physical activity in the classroom to improve engagement, improve behavior, and overall improving the product students produce and better students. So I really believe in this class, and I think this class, and it may sound silly, but could be one of the most important classes that you will take if you apply what we're going to do in here and what we're going to talk about. Really apply it to your program, to your classes. We're going to talk a lot about, it's in some places called the null curriculum. So the null curriculum is everything outside of your core stuff. We're not going to talk about math, English, history, science. What we're going to talk about is all the things that happen during a class that impact students that maybe you don't directly think about. So in saying that, what I want the focus of this class, another way to put it is, how do you put your students in the best position to learn? So, for example, if you have a student that is food insecure, has hunger, does not have a steady or is not confident or know that they are going to be fed on a regular basis, do you think they would be learning the best way? If a student deals with mental health issues, are they going to be, and we don't address them as teachers, are they going to learn the best? If a student has health issues, if a student has massive, issues of not being able to sit still, if a student, again, just think about like the eating thing, look, all these different things. And if I put that in there, how can I expect a student to do that? If a student is being abused, how can I expect my elementary math lesson to matter to that student at all? So what we want to do as teachers, I think, again, a little bit of this class is the Dr. Elner's 2 cents of teaching. So that kind of helps. But it's, how do we put our kids in the best position possible to learn and understand that there are lots of things going on in their lives that will take them out of that position A. And if we don't address those, it'll be a massive deterrent to their learning. And we can't assume it's just because they're a bad kid. So before we get too far into that and everything, because I could talk for days on all of this, we'll do some introduction here into who I am. So again, Dr. Elner, Mark Elner, I again do the PE thing, but I also teach educational technology. So those of you that are in this class, if you're in this class and you haven't taken educational technology from me, you will take educational technology from me. Everybody in the College of Ed teaches that. I also teach the coaching courses, some of the coaching courses here at K-State. I teach all of the PE courses. So PE, our methods courses, our intro courses. Adapted PE is a course I teach this spring. I supervise all our student teachers, as well as I also do all the distance technology supervision for, um, I oversee the distance technology for that we use for this college. So Go React is what we use. I'm not depending on how far into the program you are in. You may or may not have used Go React, but regardless, it doesn't really matter to you too much. But that's just another thing I do. Um, I started out and started off teaching in Omaha Public Schools. I was an elementary PE teacher. So Omaha Public Schools, I'm not sure if anybody is familiar with Omaha Public Schools, but as I would say, it's Kansas City, it's KCK School District, Kansas City, Kansas School District on steroids. I mean, it is a massively large school district, 45,000 students, and that was back in like 1999. So I can't imagine how many students there are now. Seven well, in Kansas, we would call 6A high schools. There, they were called Class A. My school was about 800 students. It was an inner city school, 98% ESL. While I was there, I've coached. I was a freshman volleyball coach. I was a assistant girls basketball coach and a track coach. So I did a little bit of everything. Moved up there because my wife was going to dental school at Creighton, and so I was up there for a few years. When she finished college, or she finished dental school, she'd already finished college. When she finished dental school, we moved here to Manhattan. My wife's from Manhattan, and I taught out at Ware Elementary, which is on Fort Riley. So if I know they probably have a handful of people that are military, are connected to the military. So taught out there for 7 years, from 2001 to 2008. During that time, I was the head football coach over at Fort Riley Middle School. I was a head basketball coach at one of the Catholic schools in the area, St. X, which was a Catholic school in Junction City. And then I was an assistant basketball coach also. So lots of experience working at all the different age levels from high school down. But I was an elementary PE teacher. Love elementary school, love elementary kids, loved working with them. But in 2008, my wife and I were getting ready to adopt our third child. All three of my children are adopted. And we were getting ready to adopt our third child. And it was actually, we kind of started talking about it in 2007. And at that point, when you have three children, and some of you who have children will understand this, it was going to cost me more I was not going to make enough money as a teacher to pay to put three kids in daycare. And so I became a stay-at-home dad starting in 2008 and did that for a long time. Loved it, loved it, loved it. The best thing in my life. Had three kids at home, raised my kids. And then I went back to school at K-State for my master's, got my master's in educational technology, and through all different kinds of things with some mentors I have, started my doctorate in something I never in my life thought I would do. So long story short, I started doing my doctorate. I have no idea how it happened. And then while I was doing that, K-State was trying to bring back their PE and health program. They had not had a PE program since like 1990. And in 2016, they wanted to launch it in 2016. I happened to be the only person in the building that had taught PE ever. So it worked out really well. I immediately, while being a GTA, started teaching all the PE courses. And in 2019, I graduated with my doctorate and then got hired on as full time. And here I am. And this is the class. I have taught this class. In fact, something popped up on my Facebook. In 2015, I taught this class for the first time, basically right now, and have been teaching it, except for about a 2-year window. I've taught it all the time, and I love this class. And I think it's so important, again, because we're going to talk about all this stuff that doesn't that's I think what's the important stuff. You know, it's what do we need to have happen for kids to learn, and how can we use things such as physical activity and health concepts to make the learning experience better for our students. And there's a number of ways we're going to do that. But what I want to do, though, real quick, is go through the course so you kind of get an idea of how things work. And then we'll have times for questions, and I'll have a little bit more conversation about how the class is going to work. These will not be weekly meetings. You will not have a weekly meeting with me. You will have a this, and then I may or may not have one more throughout the semester, but it will not be a weekly deal where we're live. You will most the work will be done on your own, um, with me sending out videos. So let me share my screen. And again, if you have any questions, I have the chat box open. So if you have any questions, just you can either just say it or put it into the chat. So let me share. Okay. Let me move some stuff around. Okay, can everybody see the, are you guys looking at the class here? Yep. Okay. So each week, so this is our this is our home page. Each week I will update this, and the goal is that I will update this page by the Friday before. So this Friday, this will be next week's message. And this is just a little area you want to go to first. It's a kind of a blog of about the week, just me writing some things. So make sure you take a look at that because I might have information in there. So you'll go here, then the most important, our class will kind of work out of modules. And you can see here, we will have each week will have its own module. And if you look here, what we'll have is we'll talk about this start here page in a second, but you'll have a start here page which will that'll give you like all the details. And then you'll have your assignment. And then down here will be all your resources. So if you kind of look through the rest of them, you can't see these because I haven't published them yet. But what you can see, start here, the assignment, and then the rest of the resources. And that's kind of how it follows through. This week is a little different because there's not a ton of resources. So, but quickly, some different things. This is the syllabus. I encourage you to look through this. A lot of this stuff is just a lot of fluff and stuff we put in to make ourselves, some contractual stuff. Some of this is a little bit like this. Obviously, you're not going to be in class. There's my grading, pretty simple, 80 or 90, 80, 70, 60. So this is what I want you to focus on here for right now is our classroom policies. I understand online classes can be difficult. And I get a lot of comments that I don't like taking online classes. Well, real quick, just so you know, this class is offered face-to-face. So if you would like to switch to face-to-face, you're welcome to do that. But we're in an online class, and I'm going to do everything I possibly can to make this as interactive and engaging as possible. But that takes a little work on your side. This is not a class that everything is going to be just open and you get to do it when you want to do it and make sure you're done by the end of the semester. There are weekly assignments. You will have 1 to 2 assignments per week. They have due dates. They have to be turned in by that date. And if they're not, you're going to lose points. So let's go through this just so everybody's clear. Obviously, all work is expected to be submitted on or before the due date and time. If you're late, if an assignment is late, you will automatically lose 10% per day, up to 40% of the total points for each assignment. This is done automatically. It's not subjective to me at all. It is taken off. Canvas takes the points off. Okay. There could be other points that get taken off based on rubric stuff, but 10 points a day, 10% a day. So if you're 4 days late on every assignment, you're going to get a D in this class. So you're going to have to retake it. Anything more than 1 week late. So let's say a week has gone by and you haven't turned it in, but you still want to. You have to talk. Before you submit it or I grade it, you have to communicate with me. Okay. You have to say, hey, Dr. Elner, just wanted to let you know something's come up. This is why my work is late. Anything more than 2 weeks late will result in a meeting, like either a Zoom meeting, or if you're on campus, we can meet face to face. But I will not grade it until you and I talk. I hope that makes sense. If I'm not contacted about late work within 2 weeks of the due date, so let's say it's been 2 weeks, you haven't said, hey, I'm sorry, something's going on in my life, whatever the reason, can I meet with you to work it up? We're not grading it. I'm just not going to grade it. This class is 8 weeks. You get behind very quickly in it. And if you're not turning your work in, it's going to be quickly gone. But here's what I will say with late work, and I want you to focus on this right here. You're in a teacher prep program. You at some point are going to be teachers, and I'm going to take this off share so you can see my face. So we're going to be teachers, correct? I had a teacher last year, and Brody was in my class when this happened, and I had a student that said to me, how do you demand how do you demand excellence from your students? So they were like, how do I get my students to buy in and to demand excellence? And I said it's a great question, because in this class, of everybody in this class will be a teacher with 1 year. Within 1 year, every one of you will be a teacher or be out there licensed. I have a number of assignments missing. I have people that are not doing the work they're supposed to be doing, and I have people that don't show up to class, and I have people that come in late to class. So here's my question. If you are planning to be a teacher, how could you ever hold your students accountable if you can't be accountable for yourself? So the answer to that question is, how do I hold my students or demand excellence? Is the first thing to do is to demand excellence from yourself. So when you take our courses and you're here to be a teacher, I would expect that you're going to take this seriously and that you are going to want to work and get stuff in on time. So if you just don't turn stuff in on time, and you're somebody that, and you're literally, if you had any idea the amount of students that we have to deal with that don't turn work in, how could you be a good teacher? Because don't you want that? It's kind of like when the students in my PE courses, students come in late to class, and like, what's the big deal? It's 5 minutes late. And I ask them, and I know a few of you, I'm going to just pick on Brody because I know he's one of my things, is I can't imagine Coach Mitty is very good with his players showing up 5 minutes late to practice. That Brody, and I know Jacob up here both work with the women's basketball program, is I can't imagine any of you, if you were a coach or maybe you were coaches, had a coach or an athlete, had a coach that was cool with you being late. So why would you be that person? So I know that's my big spiel. But the reality is, don't turn your work in late. I'm not giving you stuff that is that hard to do. Okay. And I'm going to talk about that here in a second. Sorry for my little rant there, but like the late work thing is like blows me away. So I'm back to share. Now, I will say, if you are in a situation, things will come up. You will have a family emergency. You will have something happen. Your computer is going to break. Your apartment's going to flood. Something crazy is going to happen. Here's what I would tell you. Just talk to me. And if you've had me in any classes before, or if you were to ask any of students that have had me before, I think you would have them all tell you that I'm an extremely positive, reasonable person. I will make anything work, but I have to have your buy-in, if that makes sense. So if you want to work, if you're like, I'm struggling, I'm getting behind, can I come talk to you? Because while it says that late work results in an automatic 10% per day, there are no absolutes in anything we teach. So maybe it's, hey, I had this issue, and I'm like, that's a completely reasonable issue. I won't take off late points. So I would encourage you, do not come to me at the end of the semester or the end of the 8 weeks and say, oh, I should have reached out, but I just was too nervous to, or, oh, I just didn't reach out to you. Because then you're just going to have to retake the course. So don't be that person. If for any reason you have points taken off of your assignment for any reason, for a reason like you just didn't get it, you didn't do it correctly, you missed some things, um, we will tell you anytime we take points off, we will tell you exactly what you missed and you will be able to fix it. So if you get less points on an assignment, let's say there's 20 points possible, you turn it in on time for whatever reason, you got 15 points. We tell you why you got 15 points. Maybe you didn't do enough of the work, or you didn't do what we asked. I will 100% let you resubmit it without any penalty, if that makes sense. You can still get full credit, but you have to do it, if that makes sense. You have to do it. All right. Um, any questions so far on any of that policy? Okay. So I want to make a comment on grading. One, everybody has an A in the course, and I would hope that every one of you will end this 8 weeks with an A in the course. So I want this course to be this. A lot of you, you go into a thing and let's say like you have to read a book. And when you read a book and you have to take a test after reading the book, is that a fun book to read? Typically not. So let me give you an example. My dogs are going crazy in the background, if you can see. To give you an example, my wife's in dental school. Like my wife, after she got out of dental school, hated reading for the longest time because any reading was never fun. It was just studying. So now she reads all the time and just for fun. So think of the difference between reading a book for a test or reading a book just to enjoy. I want this to be a class. There goes my wife, and she's going by me. But I want this to be a class that is like a book you're reading to enjoy. I don't want you to stress. Let me close this door. I want this to be a class that you enjoy. I want this to be a class that you're not stressed about. I want this to be a class that you're just trying to get some stuff out of it. Okay. There are no tests in this course. We don't give any tests. We have a quiz today, which is I'm going to give you a word, a code word, and you're going to type it in. That's your quiz. So there's no test. So don't try to read things to memorize things. Read things to learn and appreciate. And at the end of the day, if we get a few things out of this class, excellent. Okay. When I grade, I'm not grading you based on a tier down approach. I'm not going to say, okay, one person did a really good assignment and I'm going to base everything off of that. If you meet what I ask, if you do what I ask, you're going to get an A. My daughter is in college and she had a teacher. She's a freshman in college and she had a teacher tell her, I do not give A's because A's are perfect and nobody is perfect. Well, that's like a kick in the teeth. Like, are you serious? Like, that's how we're starting the class? I'm going to start this. I don't think A's are for perfect. A's are did you do what you were supposed to do? Yes. Now, some people may disagree with that, but this is the way this class is going to be. You can get an A. Do your work, do it well, you'll get an A. Do it to your best ability. It's 2 hours of an A. Try to enjoy that. Okay. Now let's go here back to my desktop. Now let's go into our course expectations. A couple of things. Best way to get a hold of me is through email. I check my email way too much. I actually do have my cell number here. Don't do that unless it's an emergency. But if it's an emergency, you can do that. But what you don't want to do is say, hi, do we have this assignment due this week? Like, I don't even know what that means. But in an online class, I probably wouldn't be. So there's some expectations, netiquette, things like that. If you were going to email me, which I would highly encourage you to do whenever you need to, this should be your subject line. And please don't literally write your name, type in like Mark Elner. I've literally had kids just put in this, copy and paste this. So Mark Elner, EDEL 250 ZA, because I have multiple sections of this. That way I know what you're talking about. I know what class you are in. Okay. These are just some things to think about down here. Now, let's go into the course week 1. So you have a start here page. Now, this start here page, it's not Monday, it's Tuesday. Get my days all worked up here. This is a very detailed start here page, and that's because it's the first week. So I try to put a bunch of information here. Okay. Um, what you have this week, what you'll do is there's an intro message board. Some of you have done that already. It's due Wednesday. And then you have a podcast review due on Friday. And then you have replies to those podcasts, or not. Let's see if I even have that in there. I don't even know if I'm going to have you respond. I think you can just see each other's. I'll see what I have in the assignment. That tells you what to do, where to go. Let me. Yep, it's a group. What you do, so you do not, you can just look. You do not have to, sorry for any of you on there. You should all be able to see it. You do not have to respond. I'm going to make it easy with the shorter kind of a week here. Then, so that's what you're going to do there. You're just going to introduce yourself. So that way we can kind of learn what you're doing. Please put a photo in there. Just so you know, if I were to go in there and show you guys, I'm not sure if all of you look at your ID photos, but I don't think they're a great representation, at least I hope not, of many of you, what you look like. That's not what I wanted. I need this out of here. Sorry, there's my thing here. Let me go back. Module. Okay. Second thing, I'm going to give you here in a little while a code word. That's going to be your quiz. That's due January 23rd. I would do it tonight. And your answer to that, I hope you're paying attention. The answer to that is physical activity. So physical activity is the answer to the attendance quiz. So you'd go in there and do that. Your introduction podcast is what you're going to do for Friday. Oh yeah, we do have replies to this. Don't do it just yet because it'll be due on Friday. But what you'll do is you will look at some different podcasts here. I have links for you. You're going to select one of the two, and then you are going to, or pick your own, as long as it relates to fitness, nutrition, or health. And you're going to listen to the podcast, and then you will create a s'more representing the episodes. Okay. If you don't have a s'more account, it's free. You just click sign up. It's a very easy thing to use. In which you'll some of the information you'll put in there in the name, what you learned, what you liked. I'll let you read this, and then you're going to respond to group. Your groups will each have 2 other people in it, if that makes sense. You'll have 2 other people in your group to respond to. If somebody, and you'll say you're in a group of 3 people, there's 3 of you, somebody doesn't turn one in and you can't see it for whatever reason, then obviously you can't respond to them. Part of your grade is that group discussion. So if you don't do it, you will lose points, like 4 points for not doing the group discussion. Now, let's say you forget to do the group discussion. We take off points. You are able to go back in and fix that and do the group discussion. Okay. So that's this week's class. I want to share my screen one more time with you before we get going here. We have a little longer. Modules. I want to go through and show you the class at a quick little brief so you understand what we're going to be talking about. So this week, obviously, just kind of a get to know you doing the podcast. Next week, we'll be talking about hungry kids and child nutrition. So again, if a kid is hungry, and we're not talking about just like, oh, like right now I haven't eaten anything, I'm hungry. It's more like I literally haven't eaten anything for days, or what I am eating is not satisfying my caloric need. I'm not getting what I need, and that is impacting my learning. Okay. Then we will go into an idea of this learning. This is using physical activity. Um, you will read a article that I actually wrote on my using my dissertation called "Constant Natural Freedom of Movement." We'll talk again about that more. You'll have a kinesthetic activity that you'll develop. Again, don't stress. Here we'll be talking about food labels, fun ways to teach kids different things to think about. Down here, we'll be talking about abuse in child abuse. You, as a teacher, will be, anytime you work with people, you are a mandated reporter. We'll spend time talking about that. Week 7 will be talking about mental health. I don't think there's a bigger issue in American education right now anywhere than mental health and the impact it's having on our education. And then finally, we'll do what's called a nutrition makeover project and a final reflection. What will happen is each week, I will either do one of two things. I will make a video and put it right here and send it out to you, a preview video where I go over and I do some teaching, or I will send out an announcement with lots of, with information on it. So if you are not set up to get announcements in your email, please get those and please check those. That is how I will communicate with you as a group. I'll send out an announcement to the class, so make sure you're doing that. Any questions? Still good? Hanging in there? We're almost done. So, oh, sorry, jumped in there. Just want to, as we kind of wind down here, is I'm a big believer in relationships, and if you're in my program, the PE program, or any of my face-to-face classes, you learn that pretty quick. Is I believe that really can't learn without relationships, can't learn without having that trust with each other, and so I'm going to do everything I can to foster that in this class. While we will not meet every week, I am here to meet whenever if you need. So let's say you just need to talk about something. The class isn't going well for you. You're not liking how it's going. Talk to me. I think I'm extremely reasonable. I'm easy to talk to, I think. And my own children probably don't think that, but I think I am really easy to talk to for the college kids. Um, but really don't wait until the end. All of us are dealing with something. I talked about this today at this in service with the people I was at Junction City High School and then elementary school. Is my new thing, and I'm going to talk about this in all my classes to start this semester. One of my favorite songs over a break was the Jelly Rolls, "I Am Not Okay." Anybody heard that song? "I Am Not Okay." I'm going to tell you right now, that is such a great song. And it really hit me in the sense of think about the kids that we're going to be working with. Think about the kids you're going to work with. They are not okay right now. The chances of you getting 25 students into an elementary class that are okay is zero. They're not. And kids that are not okay ask for help in the weirdest ways. And sometimes they're not fun ways. Sometimes they are misbehaving in class because they want attention. If they're hungry, if they are not feeling good, if have anxiety, maybe they're sleeping, maybe they're not paying attention. Kids are not born bad. There is a reason for kids acting in the way they're acting. And our job as a teacher is not to teach 30 to 25 to 30 children the same exact way. Our job is to teach those 25 children to the best of each individual child. How do I make that individual child learn? You will come in with mass differences, as in this class. I have people in this class that are 18 years old, just out of high school, first year ready to go. I have students who are getting ready to student teach next semester and have been through the whole program. I also have people who are in their 20s and 30s and 40s who have children who have been in very different places. We have people that come here with different issues. All of us have issues. And we need to figure out a way, as Jelly Roll says, to make it all right. It's all going to be all right. But that is our job as teachers. Our job is not to just go teach a class. Our job is to teach individuals. So that is my task to do with you. So if I see that you're struggling, I will reach out to you. If I see that your missing assignments are becoming consistent, then we'll reach out to you and we'll try to have conversations. But I will say you have to turn the key as well. You can't just have me be that person. If we reach out, please respond. If you need anything this semester, please let me know. If something is not working for you, please let me know. If you're unhappy with something. So that way, I'm just trying to tell you, if you come into me in your T-Val and tell me how you hated this course, I'm going to be like, listen, that's your problem because I told you that I'm open to listen to your ideas. I'm happy to get on and you say, look, I'm just really not feeling it. I don't like how this is going. I'm happy to fix it, but you have to be part of that journey. Okay. So again, anything you need, you email me. I'll get back with you within 24 hours. Usually I'm a lot quicker than that. If for some reason I do not email you within 24 hours, send me another email. That means I didn't get it in my million emails I get a day, just like you do. So anyways, I'm going to leave you with that. Let's do our best. Let's get something out of it. Like we're here to learn. This is one of your professional courses about education. Let's learn. Let's take it seriously. This is not history of rock and roll this isn't, certain classes that are fun to take and we make you take them for whatever reason. This is a class that will have a direct impact on you and your students. And so I'm going to do my best to help you with that. So you all have a fabulous night. Have a fabulous semester. I am in Bluemont Hall, room 207. So I know a lot of you are on campus students. So if you ever walk by and you're in my class, please say, "Hey, Dr. Elner, I'm so and so in that class. I would love to meet you face to face." So you all have a fabulous, fabulous semester. I'm going to stay on in case somebody has a question. Maybe they just want to chat off there. Please make sure that you get your thing in for physical activity is the quiz. Please do that. You all have a great, great semester. We'll talk soon.